Welcome back to EXOS Morning Mobility. Today we have the hip series again. So we are starting with pillar prep, then we are doing a short movement prep, then we are doing pails and rails, and then we are doing the integration part where we have to own the new range of motion. So have some fun. So we are starting with supine position. We are lying on the floor, we are pressing our hands into the surface to engage our core. We try to lift one leg, we try to lift the second, and then try to do the leg lowering. Nice and easy, 5 reps on each side. We want to increase the range of motion, the stretch in our hamstrings, and the range of motion in our hip joint. Nice and easy. And relax. Second exercise. Both legs are straight extended. We are lifting the leg. We are pulling the knee to the chest. We try to rotate the shin towards the other hip and release. So lift, pull, rotate, try to push the other leg into the surface and release. We are doing also 5 reps. Pull, rotate and release. So you are rotating the heel internal, means external rotation on the hip. And we are switching. Lift, pull, internal rotation means external rotation on the hip. 5 reps. Last one. Okay. Next one. We're doing something for the anterior side of the hip, the quad hip flexor stretch, half kneeling position. You are squeezing your powerhouse. You try to reach. You try to open, and we try to rotate. And outside. Again. Squeeze your glutes, drive your hip, open your hands, rotate towards the front knee to stretch your anterior side of the hip. Also 5 reps on each side. Inside and rotation. And we are switching. Squeeze your glutes, drive your hip, arm reach with rotation. Reach, rotation. Last one. Okay, and we want to stretch again, so we are going into the plank, driving your chest away, and we try to extend our knees, drive your hip towards the ceiling that you can stretch, and then release. And again, drive your hip to stretch your hamstrings, your calves. And now focus on driving your heel down while you're lifting your butt. Drive your heel into the surface. And the last one. First the pike, then try to drive the heel to the ground and release. Okay guys, good job. Next part, we have to do the movement prep. So we want to move a little bit, yeah? Dynamic flexibility. Okay guys. So, we are starting in a single leg stance. We are driving the hip back. We are driving the knee towards the toes, chest over knee, and we try to rotate towards the front knee. Remember, toe, knee, and chest in one line. Hold that for 10 seconds and release. Switching to the opposite side. Stepping back, hinging back, knee over toe, chest over knee, and try, and try to rotate your chest towards the front knee. You should feel that on the meat side of your glutes, the glute minimus, glute medius, and relax. Switching to the opposite side. stepping back, hinging back, knee over toe, chest over knee. Try to rotate towards the front knee. Chest stays out. And release. Last thing on the other side. Knee over chest. Knee, chest, and toe in one line. And then rotation. You should load your front leg and you should feel this here. 3, 2, 1, release. Good job, guys. Next part, we are doing the knee hug. So we are going down, we are switching to the left, we are creating the knee hug to stretch, to stabilize, then going down. We are loading the system in the inverted hamstring stretch, sticking up and release. 3 more reps. Dropping down, pulling the knee to the chest, own your position. Now the inverted hamstring stretch from head to heel, long and strong, standing up and try to stick. Last one, dropping down. We are doing the knee hug, stabilization, inverted hamstring stretch, mobility and stability, hip flexion and release. Now on the opposite side, dropping down, doing the knee hug, inverted hamstring stretch and hip flexion. Down, knee hug, inverted hamstring stretch from head to heel, long and strong, and hip flexion. Last one, knee hug, okay guys, good job. Now we are going down in the supine position. We want to work on our hip mobility directly. Means we are going back to the same position like before. We are lifting. Now we try to pull the knee to the chest. And you try to hold that position and release the hands. And try to hold that for 3-4 seconds. And release. Again. Active, then passive, hold, and try to hold that range of motion. Active flexion, passive flexion, hold, and try to stay in that position. And we are switching. 3 reps. Active, passive, hold, try to hold, and release. Active mobility, passive mobility, hold, and release. Last one. And release. Okay guys, we want to prepare the external and internal rotation a little bit with the DNS star pattern. So side lying posture, bending your hip and knees. We are open the system, so drive the hip forward and up to the ceiling. Now I'm going back with my hip to kiss the ground and driving the hip to the wind. So load the system, we can reach and then drive the hip. Load, lift. Load and lift. The hip should be the quarterback. Load and lift. Load, lift, and switching. Slightly bend your hip and knees, driving the hip to the wind and to the ceiling, lifting your upper leg, kiss the ground with your hip and drive the hip into the wind. Load and lift. Kiss the ground and drive. Kiss and drive. And release. Perhaps you felt that in the side and on the side at the hips. Okay guys. Now we are coming to the mean part. These are the pads and rails. We did it, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Try out and try to figure out the good position in your hip. Means 90 degree in ankle, knee and hip on both legs. Now I'm rotating towards the lower hip side and I try to lower my upright chest, upright upper body as far as I can go until I feel a stretch in my lower hip. Then we try to hold this for 1 minute. Beginning with now. Chest stays out. If you have to go a little bit more inside of the stretch, no big deal. After that 1 minute, we try to press the knee and the ankle into the surface for 10 seconds, nice and easy, and then 10 seconds as hard as we can imagine. After that 20 seconds, we try to lift the ankle, shin and knee without moving the upper body and try to hold that for 10 seconds. And then we try to release the upper body a little bit more. So 20 more seconds in the isometric stretch position. We are starting to press the knee in 10 seconds. So pressing the knee, the shin and the ankle into the surface. In 3, 2, 1, press down, nice and easy. A little bit more. 60%, 70, 80, and 100% for 10 seconds. Push, 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 push. Push the knee and the ankle into the surface. We try to lift. In 3, 2, 1, try to lift ankle and knee without moving. Try to pull the knee up to the ceiling. And release, and we try to go down with our upper body to increase the stretch, and we have to hold that for another 30 seconds. So now you can see at me, I created a new range of motion. Yeah? So in my lower back, in my posterior side of the hip, at the external rotators in my hip. So everything is a little bit more stretch, more range of motion. 10 more seconds. And release. Be careful when you are releasing. You can move a little bit the hip, internal, external rotation a little bit. Feeling inside your hip. How does that felt now? Okay, opposite side. Remember the 90 degree. We are lowering until we can feel the stretch on the side, on the lower side of our hip, and we have to try that position, hold that position for 60 seconds. Chest stays out. Breathe nice and easy. Again, we are starting with pressing the knee, shin and ankle into the surface. First 10 seconds building up there, push, and then 10 seconds maximum push. Okay guys, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, try to push the leg into the ground. Build up some more pressure. 50, 70, 90 and 100%. Push it down. Press it into the surface. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to lift the knee away without moving your upper body. Try to lift, to pull with the inside muscle. 3, 2, 1. Release and try to go down. Lowering your upper body means you created a new range of motion in your hip. You can feel that now, yeah? Through the reciprocal inhibition on the different muscles of the inside and outside of the hip, you created a new range of motion. Yeah? So it's an agonist-antagonist inhibition, and this gives us more releasing in the tissue. This gives us the new range of motion. Try to hold for 10 more seconds. And release carefully. And removing again, internal, external rotation. Feel inside your hip. How does it feel now? Hopefully better. Okay guys, like you learned with us at EXOS, after we did the pillar prep, the movement prep, the mobility part to create a new range of motion, we have to make sure that we can own that new range of motion, so that we are in the position to have control over our joint, that in that case the hip. So we have to do a couple of exercises. Exercise number 1, we are doing the shin box. Yeah? Now I'm slightly bent over my upper body. In that moment my hip muscle drives my hip into the wind. So I'm loading, kissing the ground, and drive the hip to the ceiling. Slowly load down, quick up. Load, left. Load, left. You can feel that on the left side of your hip. And we are switching the shin box. I will do this now from side that you can see me a little bit more. So shin box, I'm slightly bent over my upper body and I'm driving my hip into the wind. So I'm loading that muscle. Load, stretch, lift. Load, lift. Load, lift. Only kissing the ground. Last one. Okay guys, good job. Now, next part, we are doing the drop lunge to single leg stance. Means we are lunging back, that the back knee is behind my front heel to load that hip. Now I'm extending both hips. I'm extending my single leg stance and driving my hip up while I'm creating an arm reach. Now it's more stabilization emphasis of the hip. So load, drop lunge, lift, and arm reach. Load, lift with arm reach. Load, lift with arm reach. Load, and lift. Awesome. Shake your legs. Last one on the other side. Drop lunge to load the right hip. Extend your hip into the wind. Arm reach with hip flexion. Awesome, guys. Okay, guys. Shake your legs. Feel inside your hip. How is the feeling now? Hope it was some fun for you. Enjoy your day and bye-bye.